Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is the latest transfer news. In this one, we are going to be talking about the one player who's already departed, Lucas Torreira, and the one that is almost departing in Hector Bellerin. A lot of you are actually saying Bellerin should be staying instead of Cedric, but he didn't want to stay at Arsenal, so we'll be talking about that one. And the latest on Lucas Paqueta is back in the talks once again. Apparently, Lyon have reduced the asking price. So let's get straight into it. Let's start with Lucas Torreira. So yesterday, Arsenal confirmed that Lucas Torreira has left the club. He joined us in 2018, and according to reports, Arsenal have announced the sale of Lucas Torreira to Galatasaray. The fee is around 7 million euros. His contract until June 2026, but from the picture it shows 2026. Not that we care however long he's going to stay at Galatasaray. That's his own deal, but hey, this has been let's say this has been a disaster. I'm actually working on a Torreira video. Be on the lookout for that. He joined Arsenal in 2018. I remember very, very well how excited we were after the World Cup, and he was joining Arsenal. He was the next Patrick Vieira and everything. The first season, he was great. The second season, part of it, he was great. And then everything just went downhill from there. And it's been a disaster. Let's be honest, it's been a disaster. So hopefully, all the best to him at Galatasaray. All the other teams that wanted him didn't want to pay the money for him. Some teams in La Liga, some teams in Serie A, no team wanted to pay the money for him. So you have to ask yourself questions. But Galatasaray, the same team that Dries Martins has just joined from Napoli. So all the best to Torreira. There's nothing I can add about him. He just didn't want to be here. I know some of you are like, why is Xhaka staying instead of Torreira? Xhaka wants to stay at Arsenal, and Torreira has never wanted to be at Arsenal for the last 2 years. He's gone out on loan twice, and this is now the third. Even in the USA tour, he left early because of personal reasons, and personal reasons have been an issue for him the last couple of years, obviously. So I don't think he really wanted to be in London. So the one thing I wanted to check or to take a look at as well, the players we signed from 2018. I remember Emre's first season when we had Raul as head of football, Raul Sanelli, when Gazidis left. These are the players we signed that transfer window. Lichtsteiner, he's now retired. Bernd Leno was signed in the same transfer window as well. He's now been sold to Fulham. Socrates, his contract was terminated. Lucas Torreira has now been sold, and Matteo Guendouzi was sold as well this summer transfer window. So the 5 players we signed that transfer window of 2018, pretty much all of them have been a disaster. Lichtsteiner, disastrous. Leno, good. No, Leno has been good. Leno has been good. Socrates, pretty much a disaster. Lucas Torreira, good for 1 year, the rest of it disastrous. Guendouzi, good for 1 year, the rest of it disastrous. So if you had to rate that transfer window right now, that would be like a 2 out of 10, to be honest. So Taz Torreira gone. All the best to him at Galatasaray. At least we don't have to hear about Torreira wanting to leave again. Torreira doesn't want to be at Arsenal. Arteta is talking about Torreira this, Torreira that. No, not at all. The other player wants to leave Arsenal. He is a certain Hector Bellerin. According to reports, Hector Bellerin's agent is in London today as he met with Arsenal board. Been told meeting took place in the morning. Discussions on going to terminate the contract. Bellerin asked to return to Real Betis as soon as possible. It's his priority. So, according to Fabrizio Romano, Bellerin's agent is in London to cancel his contract. Yet another player who's going to leave Arsenal on a free. Even the players that we just touched on from that 2018 transfer window, Lichtsteiner left on a free, Leno around 7 million, Socrates left on a free, Torreira 7 million euros, Guendouzi, it's been undisclosed as of now, but it's not that much money. So Bellerin is the next one who will be leaving Arsenal on a free, just like Aubameyang, just like Lacazette, just like Mkhitaryan, just like Ramsey, Alexis Sanchez, and many, many other players who've left Arsenal on a free. But again, just like Torreira, Bellerin doesn't want to be here. Reports say that he wants to go to Real Betis. He really enjoyed himself at Real Betis. That's his home country. And as Sabayas said a couple of years ago, the Premier League is really tough. It's easier to play in your home country of Spain, and that applies to Bellerin as well. He wants to go. You just let him go. I mean, already by now, 70% or maybe even 80% of fans don't want him here. There's a small minority that were actually saying Bellerin should be staying instead of Cedric. There's a couple of people who said Bellerin should not be amongst the 5-10 players who are leaving Arsenal. The others who should be leaving instead of him. But again, remember, if a player doesn't want to be there, you just let them go. That's the first thing you need to do. If a player doesn't want to be there, you let them go. He doesn't want to be there. Even if he wanted to be there, Is it the quality we are looking for? Is it the guy to replace Tomiyasu? Is it the guy to... I personally think Cedric is better than him in a few qualities, like taking corners, taking free kicks, all that, crosses. Bellerin has the pace, yes. I do believe his injuries really ruined him, and it's very sad how this one has ended, because when he started playing for Arsenal back in the Dortmund game, like almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago, he looked very good and he was very promising for the first couple of seasons. And after that, just like Torreira, it all went downhill. And what can we do, man? What can we do? Bellerin wants to leave, and his agent is in London to cancel his contract. We are waiting to hear about Pablo Mari as well. He should be leaving very soon. We are going to get rid of a lot of players. I think by now it's like already 14 players. If you had Leno, if you had Lacazette, if you had Maitland-Niles, who's about to leave as well, all those guys, could Nelson leave, all those guys. We are going to lose a lot of players, let's be honest. Not that we really needed them anyway. So let's see how it pans out. I've just brought up a picture of Milinkovic-Savic. There's no latest news on him yet. Although Man United are looking for a midfielder right now, and this guy has been mentioned. The likes of Ruben Neves have been mentioned, and all those guys. So we have to wait and see. But this one is very, very unlikely. I'll tell you the one that is still very possible. That is Lucas Paqueta. According to reports, Lyon are set to reduce the asking price of Lucas Paqueta to a bargain £33 million, amid reports that Newcastle, Arsenal, and City are showing interest. So it's not just Arsenal. We know that Newcastle wanted him, and Manchester City are now in for him. Barcelona are in talks with Man City to sign Bernardo Silva, and that is pushing Man City to look for another midfielder, and they're looking at Lucas Paqueta as well. Now, listen, if it comes to a battle of money between Arsenal, Man City, and Newcastle, will probably lose that battle. And when it comes to attraction, someone would probably want to join Man City ahead of Arsenal or Newcastle. So we have to wait and see on this one as well. It's either Lucas Paqueta or Tielemans, as we've always said. Personally, I'd still go for Tielemans because he's Premier League experience. But Lucas Paqueta, and he's actually even cheaper. Tielemans would cost you around 25 to 30 million. And Lucas Paqueta, even after a huge drop in asking price, it's still 33 million pounds. For me, I wouldn't even go for a winger. I'd go for both. I'd pay the 30 million for Tielemans and the 33 million for Lucas Paqueta, because as of now, we still have around 100 million pounds in the budget, according to what we had been told earlier, that we had 200 and something million. The balance is around 100 million. That is enough to get in two midfielders and a winger, in fact. But personally, I would go for two midfielders first, Lucas Paqueta, and then you get Yuri Tielemans. That would set you for the season. Our score the other day looked really good, that first half, and even the second half. Defensively, I think we are good as long as we don't get any injuries. Midfield-wise, we still know there's a problem there, especially if Partey gets injured or Xhaka gets suspended. The players we are bringing on from the bench are not that high quality. So let's hope we can get some midfielders in, and it's looking like Lucas Paqueta is still a possibility alongside Yuri Tielemans. As we said about Yuri Tielemans yesterday, the talks are still ongoing. According to reports, they said Arsenal are waiting to get rid of players first before we sign any players. So these are the reports. Leicester are expecting Arsenal to make a bid for Yuri Tielemans. And again, yesterday we also said that they are waiting for Arsenal to sell players, or Arsenal are waiting to sell players so that they can get some space for these players. And we've gotten rid of Torreira since, and we're about to get rid of Hector Bellerin, and a lot of other players could still leave. So that's the latest on our transfer news. Our game is already very, very close against Leicester City. Will we be playing against Tielemans, or will Tielemans be playing against Leicester? We have to wait and see. Let me know what you think of that. Thank you for watching, and catch up with you guys on the next one.